could be. But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to the Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper. We're going to talk about Sleeper, the app, and we're going to make some picks tonight. But before we do that, let's talk about the game itself. Thursday Night Football, Week 3, AFC East family business. You know how the family do it. Buffalo Bills started off the season red hot, 2-0. Big come-from-behind victory in Week 1 versus the Baltimore Ravens. Then they took care of business handily against the Jets on the road in Week 2. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins, it's been the polar opposite for them. Struggle mightily on the road in Week 1 in a blowout loss to the Indianapolis Colts. Then turn around and blow it late against the New England Patriots at home to start 0-2. Questions swirling about their head coach and what's going to happen to their general manager, et cetera, et cetera. As you know, the case when you come out of the gate struggling the way that the Dolphins have this season. And there were questions about job security going into the season. So hasn't been a great start for Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins. But as we all know, the NFL is crazy. It's a week-to-week league. Anything can happen, et cetera, et cetera. Except I don't think that's what's going to happen on Thursday Night Football in this particular game. The Bills have had the Dolphins number, especially at home. Over in Miami, different story. They've struggled there, but I don't know if this iteration of the Dolphins would even be able to take care of business against this Bills team right now. But that being said, here's what I think of this particular game. When I look at these two teams and where they're heading right now, kind of the trajectory, I was pleased with what I saw from the Dolphins in Week 2. Granted, they played the New England Patriots, a team that they should have been able to handle at home, but they didn't. But I saw improvement from Week 1, obviously, where they were just awful in Week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. However, one thing remains with this Dolphins team. They made a ton of mistakes in Week 1. They made even more mistakes in terms of penalties and big plays that they gave up in that ball game against the New England Patriots. Can't give up a kick return for a touchdown after you just had a punt return for a touchdown. Can't have the amount of penalties that the Dolphins had in that game in Week 2 versus the Patriots if you're expecting to beat someone. And they made so many mistakes in that game. They had so many opportunities to beat the Patriots, and they just squandered them. And you can't make mistakes like that against a team the quality of the Buffalo Bills, especially on the road if you expect to beat them. The Bills right now are playing at a very high level. They've got some injuries. Obviously, it's Thursday Night Football. Some guys weren't able to make that quick turnaround. So they're going to be without a couple of key defenders. Matt Milano not going to go in this game. Neither will Ed Oliver. But I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference or not. Josh Allen is fine. You know, after having his nose busted open in the game last week against the Jets, he's going to be wearing a visor moving forward to protect his face a little bit better. But ultimately, he's playing at a high level. The offense is getting the job done. James Cook, with his new contract, has been spectacular to start the season off. He was awesome against the Jets last week. This defense is playing really good football. They're keeping everything in front of them. They're not necessarily forcing a bunch of turnovers per se, but they are keeping the football in front of them after the debacle that was Week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. They stepped up against a Jets offense that played really well in Week 1 and pretty much shut them down and held them to next to nothing. So the question now becomes, can the Dolphins, who finally got Tyreek Hill back in the mix in Week 2, can they continue some of the things that they did really well in Week 2 in Week 3 against this Bills team? And if you're Buffalo, can you suppress this Dolphins football team, make them feel like they did in Week 1, run the football on them, something that they've struggled to stop? Last week, the Patriots had success on the ground. Drake May had success through the air. They had a special teams touchdown to the Patriots against these Dolphins. Can the Bills take advantage of some of the things that the Dolphins are struggling with right now and allow this to be a game that isn't very close? When the Dolphins were a good football team, when they mentally thought they had a shot to beat Buffalo, they always struggled in Buffalo. Now that they're not a good football team right now and they're questioning themselves in this young NFL season, it's going to be an even tougher uphill battle for them, to me, for them to go in there and win. I see this being a dominant performance by the Buffalo Bills, going in there, taking care of business on a quick turnaround, and getting to 3-0 and separating themselves from the rest of this division. If you look around, you got the Patriots at 1-1 heading into their week 2 contest. You've got the Jets at 0-2 now after losing to the Bills in week 2. And you got this Dolphins team at 0-2. You beat the Dolphins here. If you're the Bills, you'll be 3-0. The Dolphins will be 0-3. The Jets are going to Tampa Bay, a 2-0 Tampa Bay team without Justin Fields. They'll probably be 0-3 when it's all said and done. And the Patriots are going to Pittsburgh. And I don't know about the Steelers right now. They're sort of a enigma right now. We don't really know what to expect from them. But if the Steelers can take care of business and the Patriots drop to 1-2, you're sitting pretty in a very, very lackluster AFC East division. And I think the Bills see the opportunity in front of them, take full advantage, and they get the win. And I think they get the win comfortably tonight. So much so that I'm feeling really confident about this being my survivor pick for this week. I haven't made up my mind 100% yet. There's another game that I'm eyeballing, but this one feels right. I generally like to follow the rules. I broke the rules last week and almost paid for it. And in my mind, I'm like, you broke the rules last week and you almost got put out. Do you really want to tempt fate by breaking the rules 2 weeks in a row? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Maybe the rules that I've set, I haven't won shit with the rules, right? It'd be one thing if I'd won once or twice with the rules as is. I haven't won shit with the rules. Maybe I need to go against my own rules. So I went against them last week and I lived to tell about it. I don't know if I should do it again, but this feels like almost a sure thing. But there's no such thing as a sure thing in the National Football League. So I've got some decisions to make, but I think this is going to end up being my survivor pool pick for week number 3. I just don't see the Dolphins going in there and beating this Buffalo Bills team. But I digress. Let's get to the skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that brings people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the world, with over 6 million active users, and that was in 2023. I imagine that number has ballooned to well over that. Some people like myself who are relatively new to this platform that absolutely love it. They've got me hook, line, and sinker now. And for you guys out there, I'm trying to tell you how awesome of an app this is, and I'm going to continue to preach the gospel this season. And again, it's not just relegated to football, right? I'm an NFLer, you know that. I'm a fiend when it comes to the NFL, so I'm gonna pretty much focus my attention there. But Major League Baseball is on this app. The NBA is right around the corner. That is on this app as well. WNBA is on this app. Again, there are so many different things you can get into on this app. Don't just limit yourself to the NFL like me, but go ahead. Link is in the description of this video. Hit that link. It'll take you to where you can download the app. Make sure that you can utilize the Sleeper app. It's available in over 25 states, or half of the U.S. Make sure that you're a part of the half that can access this app and utilize it. Take full advantage of all the offers, including the one that I'm giving you today. Promo code LTN gets you 100% match on up to $100 deposit. Again, you put in $100, they're going to give you additional $100 to use on the app to make some money. Who doesn't love that? Today, we're going to make some picks. I got to get back on track. Your boy has just been struggling. And when I say struggling, I mean struggling. So I had an epiphany the other day. I'm going to talk more about it on my kickback session here in a little while, but I had an epiphany. And so part of that epiphany is I had to get back to the basics. I had to strip it all down and build myself back up. So This is a part of that. I was trying to do things that was outside of who I am, right? I was trying to be like other people. I'm seeing people put together 8-pick spreads, and I'm like, "Ooh, you just won a lot of money. I want to do that." That's not me, right? Go with what you know. Do what you do. Be you. That's what I plan on doing moving forward. So with that said, let's navigate this app and let's go put some money in my pocket, right? Let's go win a lot of money. Let's win some money. Let's go win some money. Let's go win some money. So I hit NFL, and of course you got the Thursday night game tonight, which we've been talking about, Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. So I click on that. I always love me a good kicker, right? Let's go to kickers first. First things first. Let's look at kick points to see if I like the kick points here. Matt Prater at 8.5. I don't love that. And then Riley Patterson, I don't trust him. But I do like the 5.5 kick points. But he is the kicker that I don't trust. And usually I stay clear, right? I steer clear of kickers that I do not trust because he could easily miss a kick, right? He could easily miss a kick. Let's go to made field goals. And right now, Riley Patterson is the only one showing here at 1.5. Man, it feels like Riley Patterson is going to have to kick 2 field goals in this game. The Dolphins have not been great in the red zone. I could see them having to settle for a couple of field goals. Hopefully, it's not a windy night in Orchard Park. If this game gets away from them, field goals become a moot point. Those are things you always start to think about. You hope to get this kind of stuff out of the way early first half. That way you don't have to worry about it if the game starts to get away from them and they're not thinking about field goals anymore. I think the safer bet here is field goals made. I'm staying away from Matt Prater altogether in this game. I don't like the 8.5, and the fact that they haven't even put him up here yet for made field goals tells me that they're still trying to conjure up some nasty number like 2.5. I want no parts of that. So I'm going to have to settle on Riley Patterson. Because of the Dolphins' struggles offensively this year, I don't want to go to kick points. I mean, because look, 2 field goals is the equivalent of 6 points. It's the same difference. I could click on kick points to get 5.5. But what if they score 2 touchdowns and he kicks 2 extra points and makes 1 field goal, right? And they score 17 points tonight. Then I'm short on my kick points. Same could be said for made field goals, right? Same thing could happen to me. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it to myself, it probably makes more sense to just go with the kick points, right? That way, if they score 3 touchdowns and a field goal, I still get it. Whereas if he doesn't make 2 field goals, screwed. Either way, 6 points is 6 points, right? 2 field goals is 6 points. So let's just go to kick points. I'll take the 5.5, and let's keep it pushing. I just got rationale. Had the rationale there, right? Had to just make it make sense in my mind. I'm a literal guy, right? I'm practical. It needs to make sense. So we hash that out. Let's just go through some of these categories. I'm telling you what I'm not going to do tonight. I'm staying away from touchdowns tonight. Not doing the touchdown thing tonight. Even though, man, as a matter of fact, hold on. Anytime touchdown. James Cook feels real, and so does. Okay, so here's what we're going to go do. We're going to go to receiving yards. Let's see what Devin Achane is. 42.5. That's a bit much. I was hoping this thing would be down in the 30s somewhere. He can do it. Let's see how many catches they got him having. See how many receptions. They throw it to him. Damn, 5.5? Come on. It's too many. He's probably going to catch it 6 times in this game, though. How many times did he catch it last week? I felt like he caught it like 8 times last week. He had 8 catches last week. I know they're going to throw it to him. I got to stop being a chump. 5.5 feels like, as long as he stays healthy, and that's always something with Devin Achane, I'm going to go ahead and take the 5.5 receptions. He's going to catch the football a bunch tonight. Their offense stinks. And Tua is always looking for the check down. All right. So I'm going to take Devin Achane on the. And I know the Bills are going to try to take him away. Hopefully, they don't do a great job of it, and Tua can hit him a bunch of times. I'm not doing first touchdown. Anytime touchdown. I could go back to the Achane well. I could go to the James Cook well. I said I was staying away from touchdowns, so that'll be a last resort. Pass yards in this game, Josh Allen, 227 against this group. And they got a little boost here. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much. So I'll take Josh Allen on the pass yards. Let's see what they got combined rush and pass yards. They don't have a special on that, so I'm gonna stick with that pass yards for Josh Allen. Take that special that they're giving out there. Rush yards, I'm gonna stay away from rush yards, even though Josh Allen at 28.5 rush yards is pretty hot and tempting. I'm gonna stay away from that. James Cook, I feel like he can cook on the ground against these boys. I'll come back to that. I will come back to that. Tyreek Hill at 61.5. They want me to take that. I'm not touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. Not messing with that. He had a good game last game, but he can go right back into the cellar tonight. So I'm staying away from that. We did the receptions with Devin Achane already. Let's see. Completions. He's probably going to stay away from that. Don't want to do interceptions. We already did the kick points with Riley Patterson. Passing attempts. Going to stay away from that because this could be a run game for the Bills. Rushing attempts. Interesting. I mean, rush attempts. I'm not messing with Josh Allen on 6.5 rush attempts. That's a bit too much for me because I can see him running it 5 times in this game. The Dolphins don't run it enough for me to go Devin Achane, 12.5. How many did he have last game? And again, this game could get away from them. He had 11 carries. Yeah, I'm not messing with that. Staying away from that last week. He had 7 the week before. I'm not touching that. James Cook last week, though, I felt like he carried the rock a few times last week against the Jets. 21 carries last week. I could see that being a formula again this week. What's the number? So is it a number I'm comfortable with? 15. I really feel like he can get it 15 times tonight. He can get the football 15 times tonight. I'll go James Cook. Let's see. Go James Cook, 15 carries on the night. So I like things that don't revolve around guys having to produce, just simply touching it, right? Let's see what we got so far. Patterson on kick points. Achane catching the ball 6 times tonight. Josh Allen, 227 yards passing. Please don't let this be a night where, matter of fact, because they're trying to tempt me with this boost. Let me see what he did against the Jets. He had 148 yards against the Jets last week. Now, they played a lot of man coverage. They made it tough on him. That's not the type of defense he's seen this week. However, let me see. You know what I need to see? I need to go to the Patriots and see how Drake May did. I think I already know the answer, but I'm pretty sure Drake May ate him up last week. But I need to see it. Drake May had 230, 19 of 23 for 230. Like, he was really good against them. All right. But he also ran it well. How many times did he run it last week? I may have to bypass that. 10 times for 31 yards. He ran it for 31. I know your boy Ramondre Stevenson. He had about 50-something yards in the first half. What did he end up with last week? 54. So he didn't do much. But he caught it out of that backfield, though. 5 times for 88 yards, which is why I probably should leave Stevenson, or probably should leave Josh Allen passing yards alone and just stick with James Cook. And instead of going with, but see, the thing is with Buffalo, I could get in my own head sometimes. They could easily put in the receiving back, and James Cook could not get the ball out of the backfield catching it. See how many receiving yards they got James Cook getting tonight. Oh, 13 and a half. Oh, man, I got to take that. I got to take that. He's going to have, even if he just catches a screen, bro, he's going to get 13 yards. I got to take that. All right. So that took away the carries for him. I don't care. I'll take the receiving yards instead. Josh Allen, 227 yards passing worries me because it may not be that type of night. It may not have to be that type of night for him. It could be a night where he just hands it off to James Cook, and James Cook does the heavy lifting. So that that bothers me. That bothers me. So I'm gonna stick with it though, because they got the multiplier boost up there. They got me. I ain't gonna hold you. They got me. I want one more pick, and then I feel good about what we're putting out here. Let's see. I don't want pass touchdowns. I don't want rush touchdowns. Do I want rush touchdowns? No, I don't. I don't want any touchdowns. I want to stay away from touchdowns. Let's see. Receptions. If he's going to throw the ball, Josh Allen I'm referring to. Somebody's got to catch him, right? Always like the tight ends in Buffalo. Keon Coleman feels like he's been a really good target. Let's see what he's done. 3 catches, 8 the first game against Baltimore, but only 3 last week. So that gives me pause. Josh didn't have a great game last week, though, right? If he's to throw for 200 and, the yards I need him to throw to, he's going to have to throw to Keon Coleman, right? Keon Coleman's going to have to catch the ball more than 3.5 times. So I go with him, too. I like that one. And I think I'm going to stop right there. Stop right there. We got everything I think we need for tonight's game. So, rush attempts. Yeah, I'm not touching that. So, I'm going to make a $15 bet because I feel good about this one. Okay, since they gave me a promotion, I can't bet but $10. Okay, that's fine. And you know what? I'm going to throw one of these promos up here. Multiplier boost here. Let's see. You're not able to use that because of the multiplier boost. So you know what I might do? I might take that Josh Allen off, right? So get rid of this. Because I don't love that one. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love that one. And I'm going to go get Josh. I'm going to go get, let me go back to Josh Allen for a second. Let's go to Josh Allen and see what else he has available here. Rush yards. I could definitely see him doing that. Oh, I'll just stick with it. I'll just stick with it. So $10. Riley Patterson. So here's what we got. Riley Patterson, 5.5 kick points, more than that. Devin Achane, at least 6 catches in this game. Maybe I should bring that down to 5. Let's see. Or should I be greedy and push it up to 7? Tua is going to check it down to this dude 8 million times in this game. I'm not going to be greedy. 1.8 at just catch it 6 times in this game. Let me see. Maybe I should stay away from the and maybe I should go to the yards. And I'm going back and forth. The 42.5 is such a big number, though. Such a big number. He had 92 yards, 8 catches last week. Such a big number. I think I'm safer, honestly, with the yards receiving than I am the amount of catches. Because he could just have one big catch, but only have 3 catches on the night. So I think I'm gonna do that instead. I'm second guessing myself. And I always like to go with catches over yards just because I don't care. You catch a pass for 1 yard. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you get 6 catches. But 6 is such a big number. He had 3. Like, there's a big discrepancy there. They're going to throw it to him out of the backfield. And he's going to make somebody miss. And he's going to be a big part of their offense, I believe. So I think I'm just going to do him with the yards instead of the catches. 6 is a lot. 42 feels safer than 6 catches. All right. I feel good about where I am right now. So 5 picks. Riley Patterson, 5.5 kick points, more than that. James Cook, more than 13.5 yards receiving. Keon Coleman, more than 3.5 receptions, so he needs 4 receptions. Josh Allen, 227 yards and a half passing, so I need him to hit 230. That one scares me. That's the one that I could see coming back to bite me right there. But I'm going to stick with it because I don't believe in the Dolphins' pass defense, right? And then Devin Achane, 42.5 yards receiving. Let me just look at one more thing. Okay, so they don't have sacks up here. So let's say maybe I could go to sacks and steal one there. What's some of the hot picks? Just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Waddle had a good game last week. He had 68 yards. He had 30 in the first game. I think he could get 50. All right. I think I've seen enough. I don't need to overthink this. I got what I got. I'm rolling with what I'm rolling with. Let's submit it. I need a win. So this is what it looks like. Josh Allen, multiplier boost, 227 yards and a half passing. That's the one that I'm nervous about. Keon Coleman, 3.5 receptions. Feel good about that. Need more than that. So he needs 4. Riley Patterson, 5.5 kick points. I feel good about that. He just needs 2 field goals essentially, or 3 extra points and a field goal. They're not scoring that many points. So 2 field goals is what I'm looking for here. James Cook, 13.5 receiving yards. Again, that's one, screen that he takes for 15 yards, and we should be good there. And then Devin Achane, 42.5 yards receiving. I feel good about that more so than the 6 catches that he would have needed tonight to get me the win. So that's Sleeper, guys. Use the promo code LTN to get you a 100% match on up to $100 deposit. Don't miss out on this fun. We're going to be doing this all year long. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. All right. So let's finish this thing up and let's get out of here. I think the Bills are going to win this game, and I'm leaning heavily towards making them my survivor pick for this week. I don't see how the Dolphins win, but again, it's family business, and that's why I usually steer clear of family business, because family business usually doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the Bills losing tonight doesn't make any sense, which is why I'm not banking on that. And so I look to chop it up with you guys after the game tonight And hopefully we're talking about a Buffalo Bills win, Survivor Pool win, and we're talking about a sleep. That's the goal. Let's hope that that comes to fruition. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on The Skill Game. Thursday Night Football, Week 3, Bills, Dolphins. I'll see you at the conclusion of that game tonight for Thursday Night Football overtime so we can see how I did. You guys have a good one. Take care. Peace.